We would like to invite our honorable speaker, Mr.Emad.
Thank you, Ahir. First of all, good morning and happy to meet with you over the Zoom. And hopefully we share some or exchange some information that's really beneficial for the audience as well as for the participants. The subject that I'm going to talk about today is the equitization in private sectors in general and definitely in specific for National Bank of Kuwait. Now, from, let's say, low point of view, we are required to reach 70% of our total population to be Kuwaiti. However, National Bank of Kuwait believes that this is a national role that should go beyond rules and regulation been imposed through the government authority or even the regulator. And we do believe, as the MBK is one of the major players in the private sector in Kuwait, we think that we have a moral role to create more opportunity for Kuwaiti graduates, for Kuwaiti that really think themselves willing to join the private sector, knowing that, let's say, the inherited culture that we have in our society mind that the private sector is not a bit stable like the government, which is a point that it is easily can be challenged. Being myself, I have a part of my professional life with government and the other part, which is now with private sector. The challenges that we face from Kuwaitization perspective actually sits on a clear foundation from my point of view that we, or actually we would like to see a genuine solution for it. The first foundation is to have a proper review on our educational systems. We have a huge gap between what the educational system produce and what does the private sector or market requires from skill set, from knowledge, from competencies that we would like to see in our job seekers or new joiners for the private sector. This is one of the issues. Also, within the educational system, I think we are still teaching our student and Kuwaiti youth on the classical way, which is focus on how much we let the student acquire information without or memorize them without a proper understanding and digestion, and change such, let's say, principles from the theoretical part to a practical part. And actually, this is where we faced it in MBK. At a certain stages in the past, let's say 10 or 15 years, we found out that there is a huge attrition rate among Kuwaiti in the first 2 to 3 years. And we try to deep down to really examine the reason behind the that type of attrition rates. And we found out that there is plenty of our people who leave MBK. Actually, their performance in the university were extremely high. Some of them are on 3.4, 3 point out of 4, or even 4 point out of 4. So let's say the theoretical knowledge is not an issue. The issue was how to bridge that theoretical knowledge to implement it in a practical world or professional world. And accordingly, we've started to design something that at least to manage our attrition rate, to reduce it. We know that we are not going to stop losing people, but at least let's manage it wisely. And therefore, we've designed something called MBK Academy. MBK Academy as a program, actually it's for Kuwaiti youth, fresh graduates. And the program were actually gone through several changes and several enhancements based on the feedback of the participant themselves, because in order to change anything or any initiative that you are really serious about it, you need to listen to the beneficiaries, you need to listen the views of the participants in order to get what went well and what went wrong. So the program started in the initial phases for a period of 1.5 years. Then it's been shrunk to 9 months until we reach the final, let's say, stage, which is it's about almost 4 months, condensed program that allow people to shift their theoretical knowledge to the professional world and environment. And with that, we start to notice that the attrition rate among those segment of people start to be reduced. And then we've started another, actually, it's not an academy, but another program to take those with diplomas, because we know that the educational or the educational system in Kuwait after the high school, we have two paths. One of them, the universities, which is 4 years studies, and the other one is 2 years diploma studies. And we've started to create also a program for them in order to avoid any similar turbulence that face our fresh joiners. This is one issue. So what we have done, and what I do believe personally, what we have done by establishing the academy itself, it's a solution, but it doesn't have, let's say, the sustainable solution. And I do believe if we would like to create a sustainable solution, we need to go actually to the schools. We need to get our hands together with the Ministry of Education and Higher Education as well, to provide them with our feedback, with our needs, with our views about the current educational system. And thank God that they are well receptive, and we've started to provide them with our feedback. We start to be part of their advisory board, whether is it in the universities or in the Ministry of Education. And this is a role that not only MBK plays, it's also the other bank has as well jointly played, and we are trying to provide them with our needs. The other, let's say, challenges that we face, unfortunately, the government tried to push as much as they could the fresh graduate toward the private sector. But unfortunately, sometimes we see initiatives based on political pressures to increase the, let's say, the financial reward in the government sector, which is they start to be a competitor for the private sector. If we compare the performance management in private sector and in public sector, the gap is extremely huge. The private sector, it's a productive-based knowledge environment, and we really have an excellent, I can claim that we have an excellent performance management systems, while the government, it's more lenient, more relaxing environment that those who are high performance or let's say poor performance, there is no a substance or clear differentiation between them. So we face also another, let's say, challenge, which is the migration from private sector going back to the public sector. And we've started to think in a different way. Definitely, those who would like to have a relaxing environment or relaxed professional career, we cannot attract them by all means. But we do believe that our beloved Kuwaiti young people and future leaders, if they see what such institution or organization can give them from value for their future, then definitely we are going to create that type of gravity and keep those people interested to join whether MBK or try to join the private sector. Hence, we said that we would like, maybe it is from our side that we are not communicating properly what does MBK give the young graduates from opportunity, from, let's say, career ladder, from opportunities to build up their skills and become a required commodity in the market. So we've created the employee value proposition, and we have done that 4 years ago. And also we did, the employee value proposition actually is to create a unified message that anyone in MBK, from the CEO level to the, let's say, the lower level of the service line in MBK, that they deliver the same message, unified message. And those, let's say, the employee value proposition were stand on 3 foundations. The first one is the history that MBK has since established in 1952, and the record of successful revenues that's been done so far up to date. It's extreme record. The other foundation is the opportunity for continuous learning, which we provide our employees, and this is really one of the focal or let's say strength points that we have in MBK. The third one is the sustainable executive management that we have with a clear strategy and let's say opportunity to let the people grow within MBK and so on. So with that, definitely, I'm sure that most of the audience here are HR professional, and they know that the HR role is not only to acquire people or to acquire new skills, but the challenge is how to retain them through proper training programs, through a proper culture or healthy culture and environment that they can feel and practice. Also with the opportunity to grow through talent management that really look into their opportunity to stretch their maximum capability in order to grow and go to the upstream of the career ladder. So I think MBK, so far we are doing very well, and I would like to share with you some of the numbers that we have in MBK, just to give you a clear picture about what MBK is formulated of. Currently, in general, we are at 74% Kuwaitization in the total bank. We are in the executive management level, we are almost 75% Kuwaiti. And the middle management, we are 66% Kuwaiti. And in general, also one of the well-known thing about MBK that we are we have a gender diversity in MBK, and I can share with you that the Kuwaiti female percentage in the organization actually are 52% of the total Kuwaiti population in MBK. In general, the females are 46, if we consider the expat as well, while the male are 53. So we are trying our best to create always a healthy environment that allow people to grow and make them really discover their maximum capability to stretch out their skills. And with that, I would like to close my part and willing to receive any question, and I would like to answer any. And please don't break my heart like Zach, because I would love to listen to questions.
Can I go ahead?
Yes, please.
Ahmad, I don't want to break your heart as much as you didn't break my heart. So we're on the equal footing. I'm happy to know that NBK has done a fantastic job and created an academy. Having an academy itself allows the people to be developed in-house according to the requirement for what the bank is looking forward in terms of the career path and career laddering and up to the succession planning as well. So that's a fantastic thing to know. What I wanted to ask you, with the population growth, now the population is growing faster than every day. The number of new people are coming into job stream a lot higher than what it used to be before. Now NBK, despite the fact they have done a fantastic job and as a major financial institution, you can create a certain number of jobs according to your OD, according to organization design. So and at the same time, automation is also become a major challenge for reducing the manpower. Talking about artificial intelligence automation, such as automated teller machine. So the number of jobs have been reduced in many ways, if you look at it as against what it used to be. So how do you feel that will allow the young people of Kuwait, the young graduates coming out from high school or coming out from university, let that be university within Kuwait or let that be university outside Kuwait? What do you think about accommodating that number of people and looking for a job? What is your suggestion, Ahmad?
Yeah. See, thank you for the question. It's really a genuine question for the time being. Actually, for the last 2 years, Zach, we've started to introduce the RPA, which is robotics in MBK. And the robotics target or strategy is to reduce the time going around some, let's say, reactions or solution for the clients. And that also would help us to be more efficient, less human error, and effective in a way when we present services or even in the back offices operations. And that sometimes maybe shed light on job security, because when you automate processes, most of the people think that we are going to red or lay off people. Actually, it's to the contrary. What we adopt is to, as much as we could, introduce the artificial intelligence or RPA in order to enhance our capabilities and response time, while mobilizing current skills by uplifting their capabilities and willingness to go for more difficult actually roles, and start to give them the right and proper training for that era. Digital is one of the key strategy initiative that we've already kicked off 2 years ago. And today, MBK actually managed to transfer at least 40 to 50% of the, let's say, branches operations that the client in the past requires to be physically in the branch. They can do it through mobile app or online. So this is one of the things that really keen to do, and gear our staff as well to shift their mind from the classical way to become more digital savvy and help us to grow in that direction. One of the things that also we are sharing our views with the universities actually how to accommodate the digital thinking or design, let's say design thinking approach in their curriculum. And that would help us definitely to provide us at least with the right calibers in order to train them later on. One of the things that we doing, Zach, as you just said, mentioned correctly, at the end we are limited with the opportunity to create for the Kuwaiti youth. So we've tried also from, let's say, a social responsibility point of view to support a program in Kuwait called Tamakkan. That program can accommodate 30 fresh graduates. We have done the first one and the second one as well. It's going on. Both of them are Kuwaiti. We take the cost of their training and preparation for the Kuwaiti market on our burden without any, let's say, commitment from their side to join MBK. So we are developing people for the Kuwaiti market in order to at least give the environment that we live and do business in it part or pay back that environment in a way or another. This is one issue. Coming back to one of the angle, and sorry that I did not give you a question or shared with you an information. In MBK, actually, we are doing the environmental waste management, and we have it in every floor. And actually, the building that we are in now, it's environment friendly, green building, and it's one with the global prizes just before we opening the building. So I think part of being a private sector, we would like also to support the environmental initiative. I hope that I answer your question, Zach.
You did very well, Mr. Emad. The other thing is also, if I may add further to what you just said, the banks are also introduced ESG as a financial portfolio, as an investment portfolio. So there is a big shift towards the environmental social governance, either by banking industry or otherwise. So yes, thank you very much, Mr. Emad. Thank you, sir.
Pleasure. Pleasure. Any question? Shall I pick?
I'm going to ask you one more question, if I may.
Go ahead, please.
I'd like to ask you one more question.
Please.
Do you have learning and development department as well to support your HR?
So can you come again, please?
Do you have a designated learning and development department to support the HR?
Absolutely, absolutely, Zach.
Thank you very much.
It's not only that. Actually, we are the biggest budget in the private sector that really we spend to develop our people. So we have a huge, actually we have a single floor that contains lab, lecturer, let's say halls. And currently we are doing the online, virtual and physical. And let me just tell you that the budget, it's almost around $1 million US.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Emad.
Pleasure.